Pokemon. Okay. You know something's wrong with you when you're... Just the idea of listening to the Nostalgia Critic talk about something is making you laugh. That's truly... Ooh. Ooh. 8-bit Rick and Morty shirt with unbuttoned long sleeve over it. Newsboy cap pushed up just enough so you can peep the pattern baldness. This was before Doug went completely bald, before he decided to. This was, he was still hanging on to the dream.
Okay, so this is our real thoughts with the release of a particular game this week on Pokemon the first movie. I'm so excited to talk about this because everyone thinks I really hate Pokemon, and I don't really hate it. It's not like, you know, there's things I legitimately hate. It just suddenly turned into like a thing online, and then all the fans got so insulted I made fun of Pokemon. I'm gonna have fun with it. Honestly, we were gonna do something else before this, but then you said someone's asking us to do Pokemon the first movie. I'm like, ooh, yes, let's do it.
I got a few requests like online. People were like,
Yeah, because
with the
Pokemon
game
Go
coming
is
out,
out.
what are your thoughts on like my friends would be like, what do you think of the new Pokemon game? I'm like, what the hell would I have to say?
Yeah.
I'm not playing it.
What, even people that love this stuff, what the hell can you say about this thing? It's like, say, find a picture of a leaf. You go out a tree, there's a leaf, there's what's saying in one sweet, and everyone was talking about this game.
And she or Malcolm, I think they both were describing it. You just looked at them with this blank stare, just.
Who else did like video games on Channel Awesome? Wait a second. Who was the girl? Do you remember in the beginning of Kikassia, there's the part where they're calling, it's time, okay? He calls. I kind of wish you didn't tell me because that was an excuse to watch that part, but I'm gonna just watch that part anyway now, to be honest. Do you guys remember in the Pokemon show there was an episode that they showed in the credits, the intro, of a giant Tentacruel knocking down a building? And then I remember people talking about how after 9/11 they stopped airing that episode because it was like a building falls down, and then people could be like, oh, it's too much like 9/11. I like that red bar, that solid red bar. YouTube is saying, sis, you seen this movie. Don't do this to yourself. YouTube is looking out for my mental health. And I appreciate that, but come on. But anyway, in that show, the Tentacruel was really, really large. It was bigger than a skyscraper. So her name was... I think she was stuck in Metroid, right? I'm stuck in Metroid, and the Metroids and Mother Brain are trying to kill me. Now that was a good... Stupid Metroids! Come on, YouTube. Okay. The infamous, the legendary It's Time scene. Alright, here we go.
Online personality and all-around spectacular guy.
That's a little too much acting for right now. We just saw the Jack
I'm fine.
Sparrow thing.
Anyway, I run a website that has all sorts of reviewers that come together and, well, review stuff. I don't like to brag, but we're pretty successful.
These freaking Metroids.
I noticed that you have your own nation here. You must be very proud.
Alright, I'm catching this Tentacruel.
But to be fair, it is not very big, and you're not very big. So, let's just cut to the chase. I am going to invade you. My army is going to take you down, conquer Molossia, and take it as our home. Now, don't get any bright ideas, don't try to fight back or anything like that. My army is quite literally unstoppable, undefeatable, and of course, invincible. Where you are...
Yes!
you.
First try.
So,
First try with
I'll give
only
you,
a great
10 minutes
ball.
to pack things up and piss off. Deal?
Why do they always want to do it the hard way?
Whoosh, whoosh. Malasia. How many monitors is that? Is it like 5 monitors?
Hello.
It's
Hello.
time.
I like how the viewer count goes down the more Channel Awesome.
It's time.
What's this sideways one? Is that for shmups? There's this one just displaying the matrix. This is a pro setup. I never really appreciated that before. I didn't read Tentacruel's height. Is Tentacruel 6 feet? Is Tentacruel over 6 feet? Wait, I must have passed it. There it is. Five feet. It's only 5'5". Dude, it's a manlet. In the show, it was so big. The most terrible things Ash Ketchum has ever done.
It's time.
It's time.
Hello.
It's time. Yeah. It's time. It's time.
Okay, we're almost at the part. We're almost at the part. I'd love to help you, but I'm stuck in a video game right now, and these Metroids are giving me a heck of a time.
Hello?
Watch out for that.
What does "it's time" mean?
What?
I don't know. You
I'm
just
stuck in an 8-bit video game.
called me up and said it's time.
From my
I'm supposed to
childhood.
know what that means.
Get on the wagon, Phaelus.
Hold on, I'll get back to you.
Critic, I'd love to help you out, but these Metroids...
324 here, but I think Spoonie's watch is more accurate.
I got sucked into a 90s epic 8-bit video game, and these Metroids are ruining my life.
Hello?
What's gonna happen?
Sorry.
When?
He was
I
disgraced.
can barely keep track of who I'm talking to. Oh, that reminds
He was
me, I gotta
disgraced.
call
He did
Sean.
not die.
The epic fail guy.
Oh,
The
yeah.
epic
he's
fail
funny.
guy.
Yes. Hello?
The epic fail guy. Oh yeah, he's funny. That's one of my favorite lines. I gotta go back for that one.
Confused here.
Look, it's hard to explain. Just meet me in Malasia. It's in Nevada.
Okay, I'll just walk over to Nevada.
I'll fly you there.
When?
I don't know. I can barely keep track of who I'm talking to. Oh, that reminds me. I gotta call Sean.
Who?
The epic
Sean. Who? The epic fail guy. Oh yeah, he's funny.
fail guy.
Oh, yeah, he's funny.
Yes. Hello?
3:23 p.m.
Go away. Hey, Cinema Snob.
Guilty as charged.
He's
She actually has Sean's number.
guilty. He had a lot of personality to that line
Shut
read.
up. Yes, we are taking over Malasia.
We're taking over Malaysia.
I know, right? So
Why did I always wonder why she says that like that?
Answering machine the whole time. Leave your message.
We're
after
taking
the
over Malaysia. Yes! Look, I was right. I think that's Metroid.
Little Miss Gamer, I need your help.
Little Miss Gamer? What did you say? What did you say her name was? Little Miss Gamer. Alright, you got it right. Good job. Little Miss Gamer? I want to slow this down like a little bit. I just want to get every detail. And you can't do this on a sync, so this is exclusive.
I see goggles is on board.
Hello, that chick with the goggles.
Goggles?
Hello,
It's
that chick with the goggles.
Yes?
Yes, we are taking over Malasia.
We're taking over Malaysia.
We're
I
taking
know,
over
right? So get
Malaysia.
your stuff together and come down
By
to.
the way, this has been an answering machine the whole time.
Little Miss Gamer. Here she is stuck in a retro game. Let's see how this goes down. Will she answer the Nostalgia Critic's call? Or is that even possible? These Metroids. I don't even think she says that. That's just my memory. Let's see what happens.
Hello?
Little Miss Gamer, I need your help. We are taking over Molossia!
Oh, yeah, you know, I'd love to, Critic, but I'm a little busy right now.
Huh? Doing what?
Mm.
Yeah, I kinda got sucked into my Nintendo game.
I don't know, maybe I like this part too much. But this part, for me, it's so, like, first of all, it's like everything everyone was doing. So many people of this, like, so much of early YouTube was because, let's remember, for context, for any Zoomers watching, any Zoomers who watch me because I play Roblox, well, Generation Y, when Generation Y got on the internet, it was mostly just nerds at first. So when YouTube started, all of the content on YouTube was guys with no charisma, like the Nostalgia Critic, and they would talk about, oh, do you remember Samus? Do you remember 8-bits? And they would just do that, and that was it. It was like, you remember the 8-bits? You remember the 16 bits? Remember the beeps and boops that they made? They didn't have that many colors. We all know those. And that was it, and that was all you had to do. And you'd, well, I guess you didn't make money for YouTube anyway. But, so you just did it for the love, I guess. But this was basically, the reason this is so funny to me, I think part of it, a big part of it, is that if you randomly picked a YouTube content in, let's say, 2006, around there, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later, I don't know. Around there, the odds of it being about getting sucked into a video game, a retro video game, pretty high. So he's calling her, and I just love, he calls her and she explains the premise of her content. And it's so of its time. And maybe it's silly of me to get into detail on this, but I just really want to contextualize. This is an important part for me.
Freak accident. Now I have to defeat the Mother Brain, restore order to the kingdom. And Link's been acting kind of like a jerk. Well,
I actually forgot about that. See? Just a reference. It was just... and that's where you really fall in love with the content. Yeah, kind of difficult right now. I kind of got sucked into my retro 1990s beepy boopy computer game. Whoa! Cool, kind of intriguing premise, huh? Oh, but unfortunately, there's a reference here. Well, excuse me, princess. We're diving into the Nostalgia Critic here. And I'm also Pokemon training. Sorry, it's probably really crazy to stumble in on this. Kind of feels embarrassing. It's kind of like you walked in on something. I like to bully. Honestly, I like to be a bully. Is this gonna have lyrics? She's Little Miss Gamer. She goes into games. She likes retro games. She gets sucked in the games. She's Little Miss Gamer. She has a Nintendo. She goes inside Nintendo.
Hey,
No, I didn't have words.
Gamer